for Silesia Diamond League. That is what we are here for today. It's still currently going on right now. I just wanted to jump on here now while we have a little bit of a break in between the events. I don't really know too much. I watch, but don't really know too much of. But the ones that I wanted to cover, I definitely wanted to jump on here and talk about it. But before I do, please leave me a thumbs up. Please drop a comment down below. Please subscribe if you are new here. We're going to finish out the season. I'll be back next season. But yeah, let's go. Let's get on into it. So the first one that I want to talk about is the one that was actually not even aired on the broadcast that you're going to see later on today. At least I don't think they're going to show it, but it wasn't shown on Peacock, so I had to see it on somebody's YouTube stream. But the 110 meter hurdles, which I didn't talk about because it wasn't considered and listed on the main show. So on the main broadcast. So, which I think is crazy too, considering the lineup. We got Grant Holloway, we got Rasheed Brabell, Danielle Roberts, we got Orlando Bennett, Sasha Zoya, Simonelli. It's a bunch of people on here that you would want to see. So I did watch it. The final was pretty good. I mean, it looked pretty much the same and similar to last week. You had Rasheed Brabell and Grant Holloway on the line again, and Grant actually got the best of Rasheed Brabell this time. He outleaned him on the line. Daniel Roberts was super clean. He placed third. Cordell Tinch was fourth, and Orlando Bennett was fifth. The times, Grant Holloway was 13:04. Rasheed Brabell 13:05. That's the season's best for him. D-Rob 13:24. Cordell Tinch 13:29. Orlando Bennett 13:35. And Sasha Zoya 6 for 13:40. So that was what happened there. It was a good race. Nothing too shocking, nothing too gritty at the time at the moment of the race besides the ending, but good, strong race. These boys are probably tired. Honestly, we're getting towards the end of the season. Some people are still hot because they didn't do what they wanted to do at the game. Some people are looking like they're tired. But, I mean, it is what it is. This is the time of the season where people are at least either still in their peak or are peaked out. Like they're ready to go sit down because they done ran all season. But now we're going to move through to, we could talk about the 100 hurdle heats first before we talk about the finals. In the first heat, we had Jasmine Camacho Quinn, but she pulled out. She put on her social media that she was having issues with her calf, as we saw at the end of last week's, or the last race that happened on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. When she finished the race, you could tell she was in pain. So she said something happened in her warm-up where she had to pull out. So she was set to be in this heat. But this heat is stacked enough. It had Grace Stark, it had Keni Harrison, Cyrena, Samba-Mayela, and Danielle Williams. Danielle, first time this season under 12:4. She won that race, 12:37. She was leading probably over 5 all the way home. Cyrena was second behind her into that last hurdle where she clipped that last hurdle. Grace Stark was right there behind her. So she got her on second because when she clipped, she fell to fourth. Keni Harrison was right there as well, third. So the times, Danielle Williams, 12:37. Big Q on to the finals. Grace Stark, Big Q, 12:42. Keni Harrison, Big Q, 12:49. She outleaned Cyrena on the line, who also had 12:49. She got a Big Q on to the finals. So the next heat was fast. The next heat had, this one was the more stacked heat of the, even with Jasmine in it, I would still say this one was probably the most stacked. You got Masai Russell, the Olympic champion. You got Ackera Nugent, 12:28. Alaysha Johnson, Tonea Marshall, Nadine Visser, Pia Shashkovska, and Cindy Simber. So, Ackera Nugent, she won this race, 12:30. She, I would say she was probably leading over for her, and Lay were right there. Tonea Marshall was there as well. But it was really those three leading. Masai Russell was in the back darn near half the whole race. She started to kick it into gear coming off 9, but she finished 5th. She was the last qualifier on. She was a little cute on to the finals. Ackera Nugent, 12:30. And you could tell she's in pain. And for her to run consistent 12:3s is crazy. Lay 12:46, love that for her because I wanted her to run a little bit faster than what she has been. I wouldn't say she was super clean in this particular race. She did clip, I want to say 6, but she kept her momentum. She was still going to finish second. Good for her. Nadine Visser 12:52, Tonea Marshall 12:52, and Masai Russell 12:56. The last little Q on to the finals. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But now we are going to move on to the 400 hurdles final, which had Anna Cockrell, Rochelle Clayton, Femke Bol, Dalilah Muhammad. Love to see her back on the track. We know her season, her career is coming to an end. So I'm not really expecting too much from her. I'm just excited to see her run a couple more races before she's done. But we knew that the race was going to be between Anna Cockrell, Femke Bol, Rochelle Clayton. And Rochelle Clayton doing what she's been doing, running out. She takes the race out, probably the first 300 meters. Coming into hurdle 8, she's in the lead. She's over the hurdles first. Femke Bol and Anna Cockrell right there behind her. Coming off 8, that's where Femke Bol does her damage. And she took over, and Anna Cockrell took over as well. Like, Anna Cockrell was right behind her. Femke Bol won that 52.13. Anna Cockrell 52.88. And Rochelle Clayton third, 53.11. No shock there at all. This race was pretty... We kind of could predict what was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. The placements didn't shock me. What happened didn't shock me. So, good for them. Good race. 52. Femke Bol broke another meet record, so good for her. I know she's happy about that, to be able to finish off her season pretty strong. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, he ended up breaking a world record in the 3,000. Crazy. And he broke it. Like, it wasn't no easy, like, it wasn't no little, like, I'm trying to nick on the line to get. He broke that thing by at least, I want to say, 4 seconds. So, big ups to him. We're going to move to the 100 hurdles final for the women. This was stacked. We have every name that's in this event. Anybody could have won this race. And that's the thing with the hurdles with the women. They make every meet watchable because you know there's never going to be a lineup with them. Like, in the terms of events, every other event could have a lackluster final for their event. These women in this event, you're going to always see a good matchup. Every name that's in this final, like I said, could win. Tonea Marshall, Kenny Harrison, Nadine Visser, Cyrena Samba-Mayela, Alaysha Johnson, Masai Russell, Danielle Williams, Grace Stark, Ackera Nugent. Every last one of them women can win this race. So you never know what's going to happen. It just really depends on who puts their best race together in that moment. And Ackera Nugent did it again. Still limping. Set a meet record, 12:29. She went 12:2. Hurt. Crazy. Grace Stark, she finished strong, 12:37 to get second. Danielle Williams also, it was between Danielle, Masai, and Lay for third to fifth. It was just literally depending on who leaned out on the line. In the photo finish, you can see it. Danielle leaned out first, so she got 12:38. Masai Russell came up for 12:40, and Lay 12:42. Cyrena Samba-Mayela 12:47. Nadine Visser 12:49. Kenny Harrison 12:52, and then Tonea finished last 12:76. But the fact that you got 12:2s all the way to 12:5, and that's literally the first 8, when 12:5 a couple years ago could have gotten you on the podium, that's crazy. Crazy. This event is so stacked, and they always deliver, which is why I want to see them on sprint. Y'all need to cover these women on sprint. Same with the men in the hurdles. They just as stacked as well. But these ones, they line up. They really, really line up. So, and they always give us a show. But we're now going to move on to the 400. I'm looking up because I'm waiting to see if this 200 is coming. I'm waiting for the 200. But actually, I missed one. We're going to talk about the 400, not the 400, the 100 for the men. I didn't even see it until I saw it on Twitter. You got Fred Curley in this race. You got Lamont Marcel Jacobs in this race. Akeem Blake, Omanyala in this race. Kashane Thompson was set to be in this race, but he did not start. So that took a little blow out of it, but we still got some hitters in here like Fred, Marcel, like Akeem Blake. Those are some hitters. So Fred, they was running with some wind. It was 1.9. It was borderline almost illegal, but Fred, first place, 987. He outleaned Omanyala on the line for 988 for second place. Akeem Blake at 989, which equaled his PR. So good for him. Marcel Jacobs looked good, 993. Like, him running sub 10s is good. Jeremiah Azu, 1005. PJ Austin, 6th, 1006. So not a bad race. Not a bad race. It's a good watch. If you can find it on Twitter, I'm pretty sure you can. Shout out to Travis Miller, who you see in the graphics from. And shout out to Track Gazette. They got all of it. If you need to go find the race, because they're probably not, I don't know if they're going to show it on the TV. They might show it on TV. You have to show it on TV. But they didn't show it on Peacock, so you wouldn't have seen it there. But hopefully somebody will show it. But good race. Not bad. But back to the 400 for the women. This is stacked. Like I said, just like the women's hurdles, this event is stacked. At least this particular race itself is stacked. I don't even need to go off the name. You see it either over here, whichever way I'm pointing. One way, you see it. Look at the list. They're all sub 49. There's all sub 50 runners. So coming into this one, going into about 300, Rhashidat Adeleke, she was leading. I would say Paulino and Salwa Naser, they were right there behind her. Coming into like 300, maybe 310, that's when Paulino makes her move. And when she started pumping them arms and them knees is still lifting, you're not catching her. So she pulled away. Salwa Naser came up for second, 49.23. Paulino won that sub 49 again, 48.66. For her to still be running sub 49s this late into the season, she's in top tier shape. But Natalia Kaczmarek, she came back from fifth to get third because she was looking like she was not even going to get up in the top three. 49.95. Rhashidat Adeleke, she outleaned Alexis Holmes for fourth. 50 flat. Alexis Holmes, 50.01. A race full with women. But this is where I'm going to pause the recording right now because we have the 200 for the men. The 100 for the women. Dana Asher-Smith was essentially headlining that, but she pulled out. So those are the last two races that we have. I'm hoping to see some fireworks in this 200 because we got Tobogo, who is the Olympic champion, versus Keni Bednarik, who is a silver medalist. I'm seeing some fast times coming because I don't see Tobogo wanting to lose, and I damn sure don't see Keni wanting to lose. Keni wants to find a way to beat him because he got beat in the finals at the Olympic Games. So this should be good. And the 100 probably should be good as well, too, but we'll see. But I will see y'all in a minute. All right, so we are finishing this out with the women's 100 meters. This was good. This is good coming down on the line. They had a lot of wind pushing them. It was illegal. It was 2.9, but the race itself was good. Tamari Davis, she got out strong. She was leading over probably the first 50 meters. Then you see Talu and Tia Clayton out there in what? I think she was in lane 9, either 8 or 9. She was out there far. Coming up with Tamari, they was right there with her coming in about 80. And Tia Clayton got her first win on the Diamond League circuit. The young one, she got her first win. She won that race 1083. It's wind 80, but it's still 1083. She outleaned Talu on the line, who also ran 1083, and Tamari Davis 1084. So them girls was moving. Daryl Nita up for fourth with 1101. It was a good race. It was a good race. I was not disappointed in this race. Pretty strong race. Pretty good meet. Rome, like I said, we got Rome on Friday, which is the 30th, I believe, if I'm correct. I will be here for that. Thumbs up the video. Drop a comment down below if you do get on this video. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see y'all next week or the end of this week. Peace.